The neighborhood kids thought he was just a crazy old man who stared at the stars, until he unlocked a drawer no one was supposed to see. Have you ever met someone like Walter? Someone who carried greatness not in words, but in the things they chose not to say. Maybe they live next door. Maybe you passed them today without realizing who they were. Maybe they built something that still holds the world together. Say their name. Tell their story. Because the sky may be quiet, but it remembers. And so should we. Subscribe to the Astronaut Stories, where silence speaks louder than history books. Every town has that one house. You know the one. Quiet, paint peeling, garden overgrown, but not wild. Just untouched. Kids pass by a little faster. Parents lower their voices near it. No one's ever seen a package delivered there. But every night, a light turns on in the upstairs window. And every night, the man who lives there points a telescope at the sky. His name was Walter Finch, though most just called him Mr. Finch, if they called him anything at all. No one really knew where he came from. He just appeared one day, moved into the old Barton place on the edge of town. Never caused trouble, never said much. He walked to the market every Wednesday at 10 o'clock sharp, bought exactly 2 apples, a bag of tea, and a small bottle of rubbing alcohol. That was his routine for nearly 20 years. His telescope was a rusted relic, big, clunky, mounted on an iron tripod that hadn't moved in decades. On clear nights, Walter would sit beside it for hours in a folding lawn chair, just staring. Some said he was losing it. Others said he was lonely. The kids joked about the old space wizard, daring each other to ride their bikes past at night. But Walter never reacted, never waved, never smiled. He just looked up, always toward the same section of sky. And then, one summer evening, that all changed. It was just a dare. 3 kids, maybe 13, maybe bored. One of them, Nate, had a phone out. Let's get a picture of the telescope. Prove it's real. Maybe it's made of cardboard or something. They crept up through the side fence, laughter stifled behind shaky hands. The old man was out back again, motionless in his chair. But this time, he wasn't looking up. He was watching them. No words, no anger, just a stare. It was enough to freeze them mid-step, but Nate, bold and always pushing, called out, "Hey, Mr. Moon Man, what are you even looking for? Mars, aliens, or just your lost marbles?" The others snickered. Walter didn't respond. He stood up, slowly, then turned around and walked inside without a word. They ran. 2 nights later, it rained. Walter didn't come out. The telescope stayed folded and covered. Lights stayed off. It was the first time in years. By morning, a neighbor, Mrs. Carrington, walked over with soup and worry. She knocked. No answer. Knocked again. The door creaked open, unlocked. She called inside. "Mr. Finch?" Nothing. Worried, she stepped in, just enough to check the hall. The house was silent, but warm, lived in. And on the far end of the hall, she noticed it. A drawer, slightly open. Out of habit, she pushed it shut, but not before something caught her eye. A blue ribbon, a gold seal, and a medal. It wasn't just any medal. It was the Presidential Medal of Freedom, engraved with the words, "For exceptional service to the United States Space Program." Beneath it, a folded NASA mission patch, a black and white photograph of Walter standing beside a rocket fuselage, helmet in hand, and a nameplate, Walter H. Finch, Orbital Systems Division, Apollo Echo Program, 1972. Mrs. Carrington's hand flew to her mouth. That night, she told the local librarian, who told her son, who posted it in a private Facebook group. By morning, the photo had over 20,000 shares. 3 days later, a knock echoed through Walter's quiet home. This time, it wasn't kids. It was 2 men in dark suits holding an old binder and a file stamped declassified. "We're here to update your records, Mr. Finch," one of them said. "Your name's finally being added to the Apollo Echo archives." Walter said nothing. He just nodded once and led them to the living room. Same chair, same window, same sky. Later that night, he stood in front of the neighborhood kids. No lecture, no anger. He simply unfolded a yellowed photo, black and white, grainy, showing 5 men in silver suits standing beside a prototype re-entry capsule. "One of these exploded during testing," he said softly. "We lost 2 men. The backup system that saved the others, I designed it, in that garage." The boys stared. "I didn't need a medal for that," he added, "but I kept it anyway." Then he handed Nate a folded blueprint. "You're curious," he said. "That's good. Just don't waste it." A week later, the kids returned, but this time not with phones, with questions, with curiosity, with a gift. A brand new brass eyepiece they had pooled their allowance to buy. Walter didn't smile, but his eyes softened. He let them look through the telescope, let them see what he had been watching all along, a section of the sky where a satellite still orbited, one he helped launch, one still sending back data 45 years later. He didn't need to say it. They understood now. Some men shout their greatness, others leave it folded in a drawer behind a medal they never asked for, beneath a sky only they fully understand. Walter Finch wasn't forgotten. He was just quiet. And sometimes that's all the proof you need, that real legends don't need to be seen. They just keep watching.